So, hi, I'm Kathy Mazak, and I am here today to give you a little bit of a talk about creating writing momentum on stalled out projects. Okay, so here's the first thing to think about. So, maybe in the past, you've experienced writing momentum. Okay, so maybe you've experienced, feeling like you have some energy or momentum behind a project. And maybe because that happened kind of accidentally, you think that momentum happens by accident or it's kind of magical. So, what I want to tell you, first of all, today is that momentum is created. Okay, so momentum is engineered, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, like how you can engineer it. So, the first thing is that you need to think about the weight that stalled out projects have kind of and the mental space and energy that they are taking up from you, so from your everyday life. If you have projects that kind of like when you think about them, they kind of float into your mind, and then you have to kind of actively push them down because the feelings that you have around those projects are feelings of guilt or overwhelm or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't done that project yet. Okay. And specifically, let's talk about writing projects today, right? So, oh my gosh, I have this feedback on a revise and resubmit, and I just haven't been able to deal. Or I have to get a chapter that's overdue out to editors, and I haven't been able to do it. And now it's a month past due, and I haven't even written to them, and they haven't written to me. Um, or, any kind of situation like that. Maybe there's a lot of guilt right around co-authoring, and maybe you owe something to a co-author. And what happens is when we have these projects that have kind of stalled out or that no longer have momentum behind them, they create these kind of things that take up mental space. So unfinished projects take up too much time and energy, which is why it's really important to get some momentum behind them and get those projects out. So we're going to engineer momentum. We know it's important because those stalled out projects are weighing us down and preventing us from getting to the new, fun, exciting projects, because every time we think about them, we just feel sad and down. Okay, so we want to kind of lift the energy up around those projects. So here's how you're going to do it. The first thing that you have to do is you have to actually face the project. Okay, so we need to take it out of its virtual drawer. We need to open up this project, this writing project, whatever writing is done, and give it an honest assessment of where it is right now. Okay, so here's how you're going to do this. You're going to open up that file, dig on into your Dropbox or your Google Drive, and open up that doc and figure out where you were when you last touched this project. This is the most painful part, but I am telling you, you have to do it because a couple of things are going to happen. One is you might be super surprised that it's way farther along than you thought. One thing is that you might also find, right, that, oh my gosh, it's more than just a couple hours of work. This is going to be a serious amount of time that I need to put in. Both of those realizations are really good to have because those are the realizations that are going to start the project for you, okay? That are going to push the momentum. It's, that first push of the boulder up the hill, right, is opening the document and doing like a really good assessment of really honestly what has to be done. And I suggest that when you're doing that, you take notes, okay? So that you have by your side either a document, like for example, if it's a revise and resubmit, you'll want to read through the document, your own writing, and you'll also want to read through the reviewer's comments. And you're basically going to take all the reviewer's comments and make like a checklist of things that are going to get done. It's best to do this in a table so that you can have kind of the reviewer's comment, and then your response to it so that when you do resubmit the article, you can resubmit that table along with. But even just for yourself, you need to have a list of the tasks that it's going to take to get you to go from where that stalled out project is until it's absolutely 100% done and ready to submit. Okay. But I will tell you that the biggest hurdle there is that first reading. Okay. The first time you touch it again. Once you have that list of all the things that need to be done to get the project, honestly get the project out the door, then you're going to want to schedule what I call a writing sprint. So a writing sprint is just 2 weeks of focused writing about a project. And you're going to want to find and reserve in your calendar 1 to 2 hours a day for 2 weeks. Now, preferably, if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I want this hour to be during your tiger time, okay? I want this hour to be during the time when you have the most energy and focus. So for me, that is first thing in the morning. So what I would do is I would find a way to schedule 1 to 2 hours either during my tiger time or my second best tiger time for 2 weeks. And you don't have to include the weekends. It can just be weekdays. The point here is that you're doing something unusual. You're changing your writing practice. Maybe you always work 1 to 2 hours a day on your writing, but not about the same project. You hop projects. Okay. So you're not going to do that. Maybe you don't work more than 3 hours a week on your writing. So this is like, we're going to make a special 2 weeks and we're calling it a writing sprint, where you're going to move this stalled out project significantly forward. And this is going to create momentum behind the project again. So even if you don't finish 100% in the 2 weeks, you will have done like a big push and put a lot of time and energy into that project that's much, much, much closer to being submitted. We want to submit it, right? But at least it's going to be a lot closer. So after you've identified in your calendar 2 weeks where you can take 1 to 2 hours a day for those 2 weeks and block it off on your calendar, then you're going to map the list of tasks onto the time slots. Okay. And then you're going to follow the plan. You're going to stick to the plan and you're going to go through, and every day during your writing sprint on your blocked off writing time, you're going to tackle the tasks that you've identified. And this is a way to kind of create writing momentum and push. But there's another part of this that we need to layer on if it's going to work. All right. So what we're trying to do is create energy and excitement and happiness and joy. Okay, so this isn't easy, especially because for a long time you've been thinking that writing this paper sucks. So you don't want to. So what we want to do is change your mind about how you feel about this stalled out project. And there's a couple ways we're going to do it. One is using the tiger time. Okay, that's really important. You use your highest energy time, your best focus time, your time when you're feeling rip-roaring and ready to take over the world. That's your tiger time. You're going to use that as much as you can for these writing slots. Then you're also going to build in to this plan some kind of reward. All right, so I like to think of writing rewards as anything that makes you feel happy and positive. It can be something as simple as put on your favorite YouTube video and dance. That can be one way to give yourself a writing reward. Or it can be, at the end of this 2-week push, I'm going to take myself out to dinner at my favorite restaurant. Whatever in between there, or even could be something better. If you submit an article, you should definitely really do something awesome for yourself. But you decide that. But what you want to keep doing is kind of creating positive interactions with the stalled out project. So first, I just want to congratulate you and say the first awesome thing you're doing is resuscitating the stalled out project. Okay, so that's big because that's you getting over a big mental hurdle already. So yay for you. That's great. So that's the first positive thing, right? You're being proactive. It's super positive. You're investing in your career and yourself by doing this writing. Also super positive. So I'm very proud of you. Then you also want to build in these other types of positivity by writing during your tiger time and by building in rewards. Also, by having broken down that project that you're doing, which is finishing this stalled out project, by having broken that down into tasks, you are setting yourself up for success. And you're setting yourself up for positive interactions with your writing, because you're not going to be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what to write or I don't know what to do next, because you've made a plan and you've mapped it out. So I hope some of these suggestions have been helpful. Give me a little heart or thumbs up or happy face or comment if you'd like. If you think that these are some strategies that you can use. And then I also want to invite you to consider not doing this alone. So the way to not do this alone is to join the Virtual Writers Retreat. This is going to happen, the retreat itself, basically what we do is exactly what I told you. It happens over 14 days. We have 4 days of prep and 10 days of writing. And I walk you through with nice fillable PDF handouts and everything, all of the steps that I just told you in the last 10 minutes, except you do it with a bunch of other people who are doing it at the same time as you. So there have been over 100 people who have taken this Virtual Writers Retreat program and participated. We are all in a private Facebook group together. And once you join this program, you're always in. So I put a little post in the group and said, who wants to do the Virtual Writers Retreat now, starting October 21st? And a bunch of people are like, yep, I'm doing it. So we want to know if you want to do it too. And that way, when you join now, you also get to do the Virtual Writers Retreat whenever you want. You have always access to the program. And so basically what happens is you log in to the program. Once you click through and register, you can see the registration page and everything that's included at the link that I have here, and there's also a link in the description. And what you do is you'll see the 14 days mapped out for you, and each little thing you can do on the 14 days. Now, there are a couple of plans that you can follow. So if you want to include weekends in your work, then that's fine. You can do like the 4 plus 10 is 14 days, right? So it's 2 calendar weeks. But if you got little kiddos like I do and they don't let you work on the weekends, then there's also an alternative plan to kind of smush the writing retreat into 5 days and 5 days to make 10 days. So there's like a little syllabus calendar that you can follow there. Now, we're doing it all together. The other times when I do it is usually sometime in February, March, and then in June or July usually. So I don't have dates for those yet, but basically I do this program 3 times a year: September, October, February, March, and June, July. And the July one is usually really good because people are like trying to get their summer writing projects done. But truthfully, you can do this anytime. Once you're in, you're in. So we have had groups of people say like, hey, I'm going to do the retreat this day to this day. Who wants to do it with me? And then 3 or 4 people will get together and they'll be checking in the Facebook group every day. So something to consider, especially if you have more than one stalled out project around somewhere. This is a great program that really gives you a systematic way to finish almost done projects. And what I want for you is that I want your almost done projects done so that you can focus on the next new and exciting thing. So if you have any questions about the Virtual Writers Retreat, you can tag me in a comment here, share this video with your friends and your colleagues, tag somebody that you want to be able to see this video, and check out the Virtual Writers Retreat. You can see this bit.ly link underneath my face. It's bit.ly, so bit.ly/virtual writing retreat, just to make it easier to spell. And I also have a link in the description of this video. I hope that you got some good tips for creating writing momentum. I know we all need a little bit of writing love and support at this time of the semester, and I hope that you'll consider doing the Virtual Writers Retreat to get that love and support. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Bye!